Hi again, Risa here, back with another episode of Ask Risa. This is my weekly video series where I talk about wedding planning and answer some questions that you might be having if you are trying to plan your own wedding. There are a bunch of other videos in this series. You can find them on my YouTube channel or on my IGTV on Instagram. So the past couple weeks, I have been on sort of a gift-giving kick. First, I was talking about registering for the gifts that you will receive as a couple getting married. And then last week, I was talking about the gifts that you give to like your parents, your wedding party, and each other when you get married. So this week, I'm going to talk about wedding welcome bags and what they are and some ideas of what to put in them. So generally speaking, if you have people who are coming to your wedding from out of town, you want to welcome them into town and to your wedding weekend with something to like get them through the weekend. If you have people who are all staying in like one or two hotels that you've lined up room blocks in, this is a lot easier. If you have a bunch of people who are coming and staying in Airbnbs and they've made their own individual reservations, then it gets a little bit harder and you might want to forego this altogether. But the idea is you put something in a bag or some like a basket or something like that to like welcome them and give them some things. If you are having guests stay at a hotel, the hotel will distribute these for you, but they will charge you. It's usually a few dollars per bag. Like it could be anywhere from $3 to $7 per bag. So depending on how many guests you have staying in a hotel, that could get kind of pricey. Generally what they do is pass the bags out to the guests as they check in. So they keep them at the front desk and then they'll give everyone a bag as they check in. Why they think it's worth $5 or something per bag to do that is beyond me. I mean, I think that's highway robbery. I think it's dumb, but I don't own a hotel, so there's nothing I can do about it. And there's nothing you can do about it either. So you're either gonna have to find a way to get the bags to your guests separately from the hotel, or you'll have to pay the hotel. Those are kind of your options. So what do you put in the bag? Basically stuff to make your guests feel comfortable. So water is always a super popular choice. Multiple bottles of water. So if you've got like a couple coming, definitely put 2 bottles of water in there. And you can get custom labels all over the internet. You can have them with your names, your monogram, or your wedding weekend, whatever, or don't. If you don't want to, it's not a big deal. Just put water in the bags. That's totally fine. It's common to put like a hangover kit, hangover recovery kit in the bag, like ibuprofen and antacids and maybe some Alka-Seltzer, maybe little Gatorade bottles, get those electrolytes back in your system. Again, you can buy little pre-made bags that are a hangover remedy kit. You can get almost anything these days on the internet, but that's something to go in there. Snacks are always a good idea, especially if, people are coming to town late on maybe Thursday or Friday and your wedding's on Saturday. It's nice to have some munchy things in there like chips and granola bars and things like that, or maybe something sweet. This is a super fun way to incorporate local details. So if there's something that your area is known for, there's something that's manufactured there or something that's famous from there, that should go in the welcome bag. For example, when my friends Jordan and Whitney got married in Louisville, Kentucky, they put a little packet of bourbon balls in the welcome bag, which is, it's like a candy type of a thing. Kentucky's known for bourbon, Louisville especially. So Kentucky bourbon balls were like a big deal. So they put those in their welcome bag. So you could do something like that. Also, a list of things to do in the area. It doesn't have to be fancy. I mean, if you look on Pinterest or you look on Instagram or you look at Martha Stewart weddings, you will see some very elaborate examples of this with letterpressed booklets and, they're like printed and they're bound together. Let's be honest. That costs a lot of money. You probably don't want to spend your limited wedding budget putting together packets for the welcome bag to tell people where things are that they can do. Just make a list, type it up, print it on nice paper. That's sufficient. Just a list of like your favorite restaurants or your favorite bars or museums in the area or like the local zoo, or if there's wine tasting nearby, something to do so that people who have a little bit of downtime when they're not at your wedding and they don't know the area, they have some idea of what they can do to keep themselves occupied. Also useful is a schedule of events, especially if your wedding weekend is a more elaborate event. So like if everyone's invited to the rehearsal dinner or some sort of welcome party, and then, you know, the wedding and the reception, and then maybe there's a brunch the day after the wedding, or maybe there are daytime activities that you've organized, a group hike or a group museum tour or something like that. It can be helpful to have a schedule of all those things in the welcome bag so that everybody has all the information and knows where they need to be. If your wedding is taking place at like a resort or some sort of property where there's multiple things happening, it can be really nice to have like a map drawn of the property and where things are taking place. This is the kind of thing that you could hire someone to hand draw one for you, a template, and then you just print copies of it. And it's a really nice touch. So that's something that's fun if it makes sense for your wedding. And then just like little things, think about the time of year and where you are. So if it's summer and you're somewhere warm and you know it's hot, maybe you're at the beach or something like that, maybe put in some sunscreen or some cheap sunglasses or some flip-flops that people can wear to the beach, and maybe even wear at your wedding dancing when their feet get tired. You know, lip balm, just little things like that that they're gonna need and maybe they might have forgotten at home. You can get fancy, you could do like a bottle of wine or a blanket or something. If you're getting married somewhere where it's colder, you know, maybe you give everybody blankets to bring to the ceremony to wear to keep them warm. Tea sachets, fancy coffee, stuff that they can use in their hotel room to just make them feel a little bit more like at home. Just those little touches that might be missing. You can get as elaborate with this as you want. Again, like if you go to Martha Stewart weddings and you look at this stuff, you will see some just outrageously elaborate suggestions, like picnic baskets chock full of stuff. Okay, whatever. Like if you don't want to spend $1 million on welcome bags, just get like a plain little handled shopping bag, paper shopping bag in a color that matches your wedding. Maybe get a stamp your wedding logo or stamp your wedding date or your names or something. You can have a custom stamp made, put that on the bag. It does not have to be super elaborate. Get some tissue paper, spruce it up a little bit. Go all out if you want to, by all means. If that's what you want to do, feel free. But don't feel like you have to spend a lot of money to make these welcome bags. Really just paper bags, water, snacks, a list of stuff to do, you know, maybe a candy bar, something like that, and you're good to go. Your guests will appreciate it. Water and snacks, like they will always appreciate water and snacks. Think about every time you've checked into a hotel room and you've been a little hungry or a little thirsty. If you had a little bag waiting for you that had water and snacks in it, you would be happy, guarantee it. So that is pretty much the welcome bag in a nutshell. Let me know if you have any questions, and you can leave those in the comments below, either on IGTV or on YouTube, and I'll be back next week to talk about something else. All right, have a great week.